Time to start. Hey Hunter, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. I'm not much of a Scotch guy, but you go right ahead, man. I'm more of a red wine guy. But yeah, I agree. I mean, an adult beverage would go very nicely. Yeah, doing good, man. Saturday night. Just got done. Watched the grandkids this afternoon. Had some dinner. And we're gonna sketch, so all good. This is what is that? This is Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. It was originally built as a Byzantine chapel in like 540 something. Currently it's a mosque. Beautiful building. I remember I had when I was in college at OU, in architecture school, we had 4 history classes, 2 modern and 2 ancient or pre-modern, whatever. And the pre-modern ancient ones went from, basically the beginning of time as far back as you can find stuff built up until like the 1900s. And then the modern went from there till current day. But I remember the guy that taught the ancient class, his name was Waylon Bowser. He was an old guy at the time. He was probably in his 60s or 70s. Of like a 20-year-old student. And I remember he was talking about in this class one day. He had slides up of this, and he was talking about it, and he started crying. He literally started crying. He was so overcome with emotion because he was talking about he had visited there and how powerful it was. I remember thinking he was a nut. But now I've never been there, but I can see how you could be moved. I've been pretty moved by architecture. I haven't been moved to tears, but anyway, I thought that might be a funny story to share. So I'm gonna start sketching. So we've got the kind of the same stuff. My Fabriano watercolor paper, 140 pound. Cold pressed watercolor paper, pretty thick. Good watercolor paper. Got my Lamy 2000, one of my favorite pens. It's a fine nib, and it actually puts down, for a fine nib, a pretty good ink line. I've thought about switching it out to an extra fine. Actually, I usually don't like extra fines, but I think this nib, it's a gold nib, it's 14 karat nib, it's very soft, so it puts down some ink. Ink, same as usual, the De Artrimentis Document Ink Black, waterproof, very good ink. Yeah, that's the tool bag. Yeah, Bordeaux, Merlot, Cab, I love a good Cab. Just drop one in the mail to me, that'd be fine. All right, so I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna start on this tower here and kind of work my way this way and then work my way left. I'm gonna work my way right, then work my way left. For those directionally challenged. Hey Angela, how you doing? Happy Saturday. Thanks for joining. Hope you had a good weekend so far. These awesome towers. Got this little collar on them. Yeah, it was kind of nice today. It was pretty. It was nice and cool. Felt really good. It's been a little bit warm actually for springtime. I was kind of hoping we have a few more storms, but I think we're still early. Decent. Had some decent storms come through last night. Some good rain. Got some good rain. A couple of rumbles of thunder. Yeah, I love this. I love this image because the light, the way the light hits this building, and really these golds, and then you can see how well it shows on the camera. But these domes here in the foreground, they have this kind of beautiful like blue gray to them. Anyway, I just did a really nice photo. It's really hard to find photos of this building from kind of eye level. I think it's fairly obscured by a lot of the trees and things, landscaping around it. I think it's one of those buildings that's kind of hard to get when you're down on ground level. It's kind of hard to get a view, a look at the whole building because it's so big and it's in this dense kind of environment with all this stuff around it, landscaping and stuff. So most of the photos you find are these kind of quasi aerials from back quite a ways, which is fine. I love all these trees here in the foreground, so I'm going to kind of architect these trees in the foreground. So there's that dome, this dome. So, kind of have that established. Come back over here and kind of finish up this right side. This tower here. Oh, we have an a dignitary in our midst. Chris Flagg, Esquire. All the way from the East Coast. So far east, he's almost in the ocean. One more step to the right and he'd be in the damn water. How we doing, Flag? Past your bedtime, right? Yeah, it's late. I never know. I always try to do these a little later because I know, I don't really know if people are ever going to get on or whatever, what they're doing. I know it's the weekend. So, I never really know. how to kind of plan. Well, hopefully I won't bore you to sleep. Yeah, this is a fun one. It's a fun building. Love domes. See, I got this guy too far over this way. He really needs to be over here. Watch this. Watch this. Nobody will ever know. This is a really pretty flat dome compared to Gothic cathedral domes. I love exaggerating the verticality there. Makes me happy. Makes me happy. You guys do not want me to sing. Alright, this tower peeking up behind the background. That. This guy over here. Let's see. I'm just going to kind of architect out these trees, this foreground. I'm not going to draw these. I'm not going to illustrate them, really, just to kind of establish that this is a foreground. Yeah, I like it. I am going to try to put a little bit texture on this dome, just because I think it will help when we get to the shadow materials. This angle's far enough off You can't see the materials really. You can't see the materiality of the building. You can't see the joints. So we're not going to try to delineate that. Okay. Got a couple little smudges on my papier. I'm going to try something here. I have to stand up. Should be using my triangle, but I've got my, as you guys noted last time, when I set this up, it's not parallel to my parallel bar because of the way I have to orient this stuff for my camera. Time for the magic, Merlin. Time for some sky. Give me a second here to get some paint warmed up. Actually, this brush is probably a little big for this endeavor. It's all right, I'm already committed to it. Just have to be careful. Yes, Livia. Yeah, the sky, man, it's, I got a rogue hair here. Yeah, the sky can make it or break it. We'll know in a little bit. I decided to mask off that little rectangle because I wanted for a reason, kind of a compositional reason. This felt like it needed a defining edge, a hard edge on the sky, where the sky is. Starts, stops, and I like having the towers peek through it a little bit, for the composition. You don't ever want it to like line up with one of these, right? It kind of lines up with this one. I can fix that later. But letting these pop through it. compositionally, very good, yes, very nice. Let's pop a little blue down in here. Okay, that's enough of that nonsense. Alright, since this thing is so, again with the sun, it's very bright, I'm going to try to kind of get a base color on here. Ooh, if my paint will cooperate. That's really dark. Don't want that. We're gonna get, let's get a little bit of this orange. And then with this yellow. Don't want it to be too shocking. Add a little water, set it out. I think I'm done with the big brush. That's a little bit of a sledgehammer anyway for this size of a drawing. I'm gonna have to pull my tape off here in a minute because I've got to get the tops of my towers taken care of. Yeah, man, you know there might be, there's green down here in the trees, but you know, we're just gonna have to. It's just not gonna make the cut. I know my brother Flag is a landscape architect, so he probably cussing me for leaving out that they're not rendering the trees. Okay, this is masking tape, so it's made for this, but there's always a little bit of a moment of panic when you go to pull it off. There's always that little bit of pucker factor where you think, oh man, just go slow, it'll be alright. Look at that. Yeah, nice crisp sky. I like it. Nice edge. And we'll hit these guys. Hit this guy. Let this dry a second. I come back with a little bit of shadows. We're gonna do this quick. This is gonna be that's right, no trees. Well, the trees are there, but they're really just kind of there for, you know, atmosphere, and they're not really there because of any other reason. I need a hairdryer. I don't have a hairdryer. Alright. We're gonna let this dry a second. You guys bear with me. I'll start mixing up some other color here for my shadows. My shade shadows. Yeah, again, thank you all for hopping on and taking part of your Saturday night to hang out, watch the insanity, watch the madness. I don't know. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's just killing time. I have fun. This is my passion. I love to draw. I love to paint. Love architecture. So, you know, that's what I do. Wine break. Yeah, you know, hey, whatever you gotta do. Smoke them if you got them. Remember that phrase? That's something you don't hear very often anymore. Smoke them if you got them. All right. Give this just another minute or so. I'll keep blabbing. I know everybody that's on here from OKC is excited about the game tomorrow afternoon. Thunderball, defending champs, looking to go back to back. Yeah, were you out there smoking with Nick Harm? Probably. That guy took more smoke breaks than the Marlboro Man. I never seen anybody smoke that much. All right, let's get in here and start looking at some shadows, some shade, and some shadows. So mostly the right side's in shade. Yeah, Glenn, yeah. Those guys were definitely the smokers. Yeah, the best thing they ever did for people that smoke was ban you from smoking inside. That was the most glorious thing that you could ever do for a smoker, because suddenly they got to go outside 37 times a day. Back when I was a kid, everybody smoked inside. You just had a different section or whatever in a restaurant or in the office. And then they banned it, and now everybody has to go outside, and you can't tell somebody they can't go smoke. So that was the greatest 17 breaks a day that you could get. I didn't smoke, so I was like, well, where's my 27 smoke breaks? If I went outside and just stood 14, 15 times a day for 20 minutes, somebody would have been like, where the hell are you doing? Get your ass back in there and work. Oh, I'm smoking. Oh. Yeah. That's just my little soapbox. Alright. Yeah, I got still a little too wet. Flag. It's a little too wet still. Got a little mud going on here. It's not too bad today. It was a little cooler today than it's been being. Rained last night, so it cooled it off. Had a cold front come through. It was like 62 today. Actually felt really good. Alright, I'll try to let this dry. come back with one more round of some darks. So I did this little, I'll show you guys this while this is drying. I did a little warm-up sketch, and I did it just with markers and my same pen. This is different paper. This is a hot press paper, which is smooth. But yeah, I did that little sketch. I actually kind of liked it, but I did do a little warm-up, just kind of get my juices flowing. Yeah, those markers are fun. They're just fat. I mean, that was literally like I didn't time it, but it was probably only about 10 or 15 minutes, so pretty quick. Pretty simple line work, and then I used three markers, and then I used a little bit of colored pencil for the yellow, but I just used a cool gray, three shades of cool gray, and it turned out pretty good. I think it turned out better than this one. Maybe I'll scrap this one. Just put this one down. Look what I did. There you go. Thanks for watching. All right, everybody. Good night. Yeah, a little finer brush here. A little less mess. Yeah, this was one of those, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Fumui? I don't know. Yeah, they're cool. They're very, very light. You can get it down to this really kind of needle point. And then you can kind of flatten it out, flare it out if you want to. It's a little bit like, I like how you can kind of use it a little bit like a pen in here. A little darker. There we go. There we go. See how steady is he? Yeah, you don't have to be too steady. It's just a sketch. But you don't want to muck it up too much on these lines. Just hit this edge. Soften that up a little bit. Transition on those domes. Get this one. And this one. Thanks, Hunter. Oh, hey, Flag. Yeah, sure. I'm always, yeah, I'd love to come hang out with you guys and Jax again. Do the online thing. Of course. David Forgy. Oh my gosh. How's it going, Dave? David Forgy is one of my classmates from OU. Old friend. Really old. I mean, old, freaking, like dirt old. Old. We hung out in the 90s, man. I come in here and hit a little blue. Alright, kids, I'm gonna let this dry and quit beating on it. I may come back and darken some stuff up later. Yeah, Flag, shoot me an email or text me. Let me know. I'll definitely do it. You guys look like you have a lot of fun. I saw your stuff you posted today from your sketch outing. It's a good group. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. I'm gonna let this, like I said, I'm gonna let this dry. And like I said, I may touch it up a little bit later because it still needs a little bit of. I've got a little bit of mud going on. I don't have quite the contrast that I want to get, but it's not working with me to dry. So, thanks for watching. Here, I'll put this other sketch up here. Like I said, this one turned out better. I'll just keep that one. Oh, one last thing, I guess, here. Hang on. Before we go, let me move this. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking time. Nah, trust me, green never makes it better. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a great night. We'll do this again soon. Thanks for taking the time to hang out with me and watch. You guys have a good rest of your weekend. And stay sketchy, my friends. Take care. Bye-bye.